Hello viewers, I am Dr. Fanikrishna Ravala. I am a surgical gastroenterologist and a hepatobiliary surgeon. Today we will be discussing a very important topic, that is liver cancer. So the liver cancer is one of the commonest cancers worldwide. It's the 8th commonest cancer and the 4th commonest cause of cancer deaths worldwide. The liver cancer usually occurs in patients with underlying liver disease. So patients with normal healthy livers, most of them don't get liver cancer. They can still get some group, but most of the 95% of the liver cancers occur in patients with underlying liver disease. The underlying liver disease, the common causes are alcoholic liver disease, hepatitis B related liver disease, hepatitis C related liver disease. These three groups are the most common causes. And also other rare causes of liver disease like hemochromatosis, Wilson's disease, cryptogenic liver cirrhosis. So all these types of liver disease, patients are actually prone for liver cancer. More than all these causes, now there's a big dominant cause called fatty liver and NAFLD. NAFLD means non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is an extremely common form of liver disease these days. It is basically a lifestyle related disease. Because of excess calorie intake and a sedentary lifestyle. The prevalence of non-alcoholic liver disease in the Indian population, in the urban population for example, is about 50 to 60%. That is, every 1 out of 2 has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And in these patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, they can develop something called NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. And so these fatty liver disease patients and NASH patients can go on to develop liver cirrhosis and liver failure, but also liver cancer. So once upon a time, the alcohol, hepatitis B and hepatitis C were the leading causes of liver cancer worldwide, but now they've all been overtaken by this NASH. And because India is a big hotbed of NASH and metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome means, again, because of the basically type 2 diabetes, hypertension at a young age, fatty liver, these are all a group of one syndrome called metabolic syndrome, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, along with these diabetes, hypertension and fatty liver disease, basically related to a genetic predisposition we have, as well as excess calorie intake with a sedentary lifestyle. So the burden of NASH is huge, and because of that, the incidence of liver cancer in India is also rapidly rising, and a day may not be far away in the next couple of decades when liver cancer may actually become the commonest cancer because of this big pandemic of NASH and fatty liver disease that is prevalent throughout the world and especially in India. Unfortunately, the liver is an inaccessible location. It is not in the digestive tract. So unlike the intestinal cancers which can cause vomiting, bleeding, or the limb or breast cancer in which which cause visible swelling or a lump, the liver cancers, most of the time early liver cancer is completely asymptomatic. So when you actually get symptoms like jaundice, symptoms like decreased appetite, severe weight loss, breathlessness because of fluid in the lung or spread in the lungs, or ascites because of fluid in the tummy, these are all features of advanced liver cancer. And most of the time, by the time the liver cancer actually causes symptoms, it's at an untreatable stage. So that's why we stress upon importance of screening for liver cancer. Patients with all these risk factors we discussed before, like alcohol, hepatitis B, C and fatty liver disease, they need to be in regular screening programs to detect asymptomatic liver cancer. At that stage only it's curable. In India, unfortunately, because of lack of awareness about this, most of the cancers come to us at an advanced stage. Like we just discussed, patients who have underlying liver disease like the NASH, fatty liver and NAFLD patients, alcoholic liver disease, hepatitis B and hepatitis C patients are at risk for liver disease. So once you have this, you need to get yourself screened regularly. The patients who have this are at a risk for developing cancer, and they need to be screened by a gastroenterologist or a local physician every 6 months at least by 2 tests. One is a test called alpha fetoprotein, which is a blood marker which is done to look for liver cancer, and then an ultrasound. So every 6 monthly, these specific high risk group of patients, alcohol, hepatitis B, C, NASH, they should get a ultrasound done to look for liver cancer and also alpha fetoprotein. If one of these tests are positive, then we can go on to evaluate them further. By this regular screening, which is actually very well developed in countries like Japan, and Korea, in the Far East countries, though they have a high load of liver cancer patients, by doing a very aggressive and regular early screening, we can pick up these tumors at an early stage and give them correct treatment with high cure rates. So liver cancers are usually picked up on a simple test like ultrasound and blood tests like alpha-fetoprotein. Your routine liver function test, which looks at your bilirubin, liver enzymes, alkaline phosphatase, does not pick up liver cancer. Ultrasound and alpha-fetoprotein are the basic tests, but once you have these tests, ultrasound and alpha-fetoprotein are positive for cancer, we have to characterize and stage the liver cancer by special tests such as a triple phase CT scan of the abdomen, not a regular CT scan. We need to get a triple phase CT scan of the abdomen, then MRI, PET CT scan. In some patients, we may actually also need a biopsy of the tumor. When you have liver cancer, when a patient comes to us with a liver cancer, we should look at two groups. They should divide them into two groups. One is curable liver cancer. That means in these group of patients, we are actually trying to completely remove the cancer and give them a permanent cure. And incurable liver cancer, that means these patients are far too advanced disease to achieve a permanent cure. So we're just trying to prolong their life or decrease their suffering. So in case of a liver cancer, when a patient comes to us, unlike other cancers, we're just looking at the cancer per se, the stage of the cancer, the type of cancer, the aggressiveness of the cancer, the extent of its spread. In liver cancer, we have to look at two dynamics. One is the factors related to the cancer. The other important thing is the factors of the liver disease. So like I said, the liver cancer usually occurs in patients with underlying liver disease. So we need to look at the the severity of the liver disease. The liver disease, we classify it into child stage, child's A, child's B, child's C, or we have a MELD score. A MELD score goes from 6 to 40. So what is the particular status of the liver function? What is his child status? Based on that, and also the stage of tumor, both these factors we consider while treating the disease. That's why the treatment for liver cancer is highly specialized, and it should not be done at the routine sort of cancer centers which treat breast, limb and intestinal cancers. The liver cancer treatment should be done by a multidisciplinary team which has an expert liver surgeon, a GI oncologist, medical gastroenterologist and a hepatologist, and an interventional radiologist. So this entire multidisciplinary team should be involved in the decision making and the care of the liver cancer patient. So patients with curable liver cancer, depending on very complex dynamics of the tumor stage, the liver function and the patient's general condition, the options we have are surgery, in which we remove a part of the liver bearing the cancer. Then ablation. Ablation means that when the liver function is not so good, so that the patient may not tolerate that you can remove that part of the liver, the patient may not tolerate that surgery, but the tumor per se is small, less than 5 centimeters, less than 3 centimeters sometimes. We don't need to remove the tumor, we need to completely destroy the tumor by various thermal energy. So the options we commonly use are, one is radiofrequency ablation, in which we use radiofrequency energy to ablate and burn the tumor, and we use microwave ablation. So for specific tumors, small tumors, the microwave or radiofrequency ablation treatment results may be as good as surgery. Though surgery is still the best option if the patient's tumor and the liver function and the patient's general condition dictate that patient can have surgery. Surgery is still the best option, but in selected patients, because of poor general condition or the deep lying tumor, if they're not able to tolerate surgery, for some early tumors like less than 3 centimeters, less than 5 centimeters, the radiofrequency microwave ablation give results which are equally good. And for some group of patients with underlying severe liver disease like hepatitis B, C and NAFLD, if the liver function is also poor and in addition they have a liver cancer, a liver transplant is a good treatment for liver cancer patients. So again, we need to select a specific liver cancer patient. Not every liver cancer patient can be treated with a transplant. Only selected early cancer patients in whom the tumor is limited to the liver, it's not spread beyond the liver, and there are some specific criteria we have, like Milan's criteria, UCSF criteria. Tumor size should be less than 5 centimeters, and some other biological and the imaging characteristics of the tumor. Once we select carefully based on these characters, these selected patients can do very well with transplant. The advantage of transplant is it does two things. It cures not just your cancer, but also cures your underlying liver disease. So especially in patients who are having a very aggressive and advanced liver disease, in those patients, the transplant will tackle both the problems in one go. So most of the time, unfortunately, in our country, we do get patients with a lot of incurable liver cancers, patients in whom the tumor is too advanced for either surgery or transplant or microwave ablation. In these kind of patients, what are the options we have? So for the routine liver cancers, people talk about chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Like I said, liver cancer is a very specialized tumor which is totally different from your routine cancers. So your regular chemotherapy and all don't work at all for liver cancers. So what do we do for advanced liver cancers? We do treatments like TACE, transarterial chemoembolization, or transarterial radioembolization. So in these patients, unlike the routine chemotherapy in which we give it into the veins and the chemotherapy attacks the entire body in addition to the liver cancer, in these kind of patients we actually put a catheter through your groin, to the groin area into the femoral vessels. We go actually the catheter goes up till the tumor and the blood supply to the tumor is blocked, and then chemotherapy is delivered to the dying cells. So that cells are actually, you block the blood supply to the tumor cells, and when the cells are dying, you actually sort of give chemotherapy, because the chemotherapy acts much better on the hypoxic cells. Only this kind of chemotherapy, specialized chemotherapy, works for liver cancer. Your routine systemic chemotherapy does not work for liver cancer. So this chemotherapy can be done by TACE, transarterial chemoembolization, in which we block the tumor as well as give chemotherapy such as doxorubicin delivered directly into the tumor cells, or we can do it by radioembolization, in which we block the tumor cells and deliver the radiotherapy by something called special yttrium microspheres, deliver the radiotherapy through the tumor cells. In patients who don't have, in whom the liver cancer is far too advanced for even TACE or TARE. So in, like, for example, patients in whom the tumor is spread beyond the liver into the bones and to the brain or into the lungs, in these kind of patients also, your routine chemotherapy which we give for other in the regular cancers does not work for liver cancer. Like I said, the liver cancer is a very specialized cancer. In these patients also, we have specialized chemotherapies such as targeted chemotherapies. Targeted chemotherapies are basically, they specifically block one aspect of the tumor metabolism, like tyrosine kinase inhibitors, and they control the tumor. So in liver cancer, we have targeted therapy like sorafenib or sunitinib and these kind of specific chemotherapies, which are given in an oral form daily with minimal side effects, and they prolong the life of these patients with advanced liver cancer.